Hey, Corey D. Rose, co-founder and CEO here at the Search Geeks with a lesson from this little bastard. Over this past weekend, it was not super sunny out here in where I live, but it was still kind of warm and it was nice. Mostly overcast though. So what we did was went over to this place called the Lagoon, the Carlsbad Lagoon, and we were able to go over there with several other families, and we were just hanging out. We all brought our kids. One of my friends brought a paddleboard, so we were out there on the paddleboard, and this giant floaty was out there. So all the kids are out there, all the families are out there. We've got family friends. And since it's not too hot and the sun isn't shining, the kids aren't really swimming. They're just really hanging out on the sand. Well, as we were all hanging out there on the sand and just talking, I noticed swimming along right where the water meets the shore, there was a blue crab, a pretty good sized blue crab, just kind of swimming along. So I scooped him up with a bucket and I dumped him onto the dry sand so the kids could see him, so we could all get a good look at him, and then just watch him go back into the water. So then the kids started saying, I want to see him, I want to touch him, I want to pick him up. And so I thought to myself, oh, well, you know what? Hey, I know how to handle a crab. Okay, I came from Oregon. I used to go crabbing with my grandpa. I used to go crabbing out there on the coast. I would pull him out. I knew how to pick him up. And so I was like, it's basically the same kind of body type. But it wasn't. But I was so sure that I knew the right way to pick it up. So I reached down and I picked this thing up. And as I'm picking him up, the little bastard took his pincher and went right underneath his own body and grabbed a hold of my middle finger, and I heard something pop, which was my fingernail. And I said, oh, and I shook it off, and I'm shaking it off, and I look, and my finger is just bleeding. So the kids are screaming. My youngest daughter is crying now, and all because I was so confident, I was so sure that I knew the right way to pick up this crab. Now, how many times in life does that happen where you're just so confident, you're so sure in your abilities to get something done, you just imagine that this is the right way to go about it without even, let's say, getting an expert's opinion, without having somebody who really knows how to do something, and you just assume that you know the right way to do it, and then the next thing you crap the bed in front of the whole world. That is the same thing that happens with a lot of the clients that we end up working with. They have done a lot of work on their own. They've tried to do a lot of marketing things on their own. They have, for example, I just spoke with a guy yesterday who had spent about $10,000 on an AdWords account that never generated any leads, that didn't generate any sales. And when I poked around in that account and looked at it, he didn't have conversion tracking set up in there. Even if he was making leads and sales, he was wasting all of his money. They didn't have the right kinds of keywords in there. They didn't have the right kinds of landing pages. They didn't have the right conversion elements on the landing pages. So they made a huge mess, and they wasted $10,000 on something that could have been wildly profitable for them. And this is the case with anything that you don't know exactly what you're doing, especially when it comes to internet marketing, especially into today's world. The world has changed. Obviously, the internet changed the way buying behavior of people. But beyond that, the internet continues to evolve, and people are buying differently even than when the internet first came out. And as the internet evolves, people are looking to do business with you, not necessarily with a brand. And so to capitalize on that, to become a leader in your industry for the next 10 to 20 years without breaking the bank and without wasting not just the money aspect, but the time, is what you want to do, and we want to help you to get there. We will pop the hood on your marketing campaigns and take a look to make sure that they're properly optimized, that you're not wasting money, and that you're not losing out on your advertising dollars by not having optimization set up right, by not having conversion set up right, and just to make sure that you're not overspending and wasting money and crapping the bed for everyone on the team to look at. Because what happens after that is you got to go have some difficult conversations with people on the team. You might have to let somebody go. You might have to go have a hard conversation with the spouse. But we want to help you to go ahead and avoid that the same way I could have avoided getting my finger pinched to the point of bleeding in front of everyone I know. And then having to just go back and say, I really didn't know what I was doing. So I hope this was helpful. If this is you, just what I want you to do next, just go ahead and fill out the form on the bottom of this page, or just go ahead and give us a call, and we would be happy to take a look at your channels for you to make sure that at least you're properly optimized and that you're not wasting money. All right, thanks. This is Corey D. Rose, co-founder and CEO